Peace, y'all. Today I want to talk to you about the flesh, right? So this is going to be specified. We're going to be talking about Romans 7:18. This is pretty much where it states, "For I know that in me dwelleth no good thing, for to will is present within me, but how to perform that which is good I find not," right? So this is pretty much leading us right into our conversation right off the bat, right? We have to understand that within us dwelleth no good thing. Now he's referring to the flesh here, right? So we have to understand that the flesh leads to sin, which leads to death, spiritual death, physical death. It's just going to lead you towards darkness and away from God. It's going to distance your relationship with Jesus Christ, right? Which is kind of going against the whole point and figure of him sacrificing himself on the cross for us and rising on the third day so that we can even have righteousness within us, so we can have the Holy Spirit in the first place. So we have to get out of our own will of thinking things can be done by ourselves. And it's harder than it looks because we do it all the time, but it's because we've been systematically trained to portray ourselves towards sin, towards pride, towards all these ways that the devil is trying to lead us straight to darkness, right? And away from God. He's trying to sabotage your relationship with God, because once you format that relationship and you stick to it, there's nothing he can do. Excuse me, my bad. So going straight into this is something that I feel like really needed to be spoken upon, because we always tend to, when we deal with sins, I know all of us have our certain battles that each of us struggle with. I struggle with, you struggle with, watching this, someone else, they're all struggling with certain sins and getting out of them. But a lot of times what I had to realize that helped me with mine was more so of learning that I had to get out of my own way, right? A lot of times we love to blame the devil. We love to put stuff on everyone but ourselves, but we have to take the accountability of understanding that God gave us the free choice. So we have to understand that there's a certain amount of control that we have when it comes to doing it. But when you get into these cycles, and especially when you start digging deep within your family and learn about generational curses and stuff, you have to, it expands your mindset on a lot, and you realize that you're dealing with a lot more than what you can handle. But that's the part though, right? We have to be willing to understand that and get accustomed to the fact of, we deal with all the spiritual warfare we deal with. We're dealing with more than what we ourselves per se can handle. But you have to get out the pride. You have to get out the ego. You have to get out your own way in order to admit that, because only then, and once you then admit that, then you can actually, and this is after you're a follower of Christ, we still deal with the ego and pride all the time. We have to get out of our own way so that you can accept the help from Jesus Christ. So you can accept the help from the Holy Spirit, so that it can go about leading and directing you and give you power and strength that you didn't think was possible. And by yourself, it wouldn't be possible, right? We have to understand that, because a lot of times too, what ends up happening is when we start surrendering to the Holy Spirit a lot of ways, and we start getting out of those old ways of sins, and we're feeling renewed, we're feeling good, we're feeling rejoiced. A lot of times though, what the devil will try to do is to throw you a curveball, because he can't really stop what you're already on the mission. But what can happen is we can get prideful, and we can start feeling like we're the ones that's really, making this stuff happen. You're the one you got yourself out of this, you got yourself out of this. So then that pride starts getting in the way, and then you stop going to God and you stop surrendering it to God, because now you feel as though you can handle it. Or you'd be like, you know what? I think I got this now. No, you don't. No, we don't. I don't. I hope you don't think that either. We don't, because what's going to end up happening is we're going to go right back into what? The cycle. That's what the devil wants. When we're going towards God, there's nothing he can do. He can't get us. But what he can do is try to get us to fall back into them old tricks, which is going to distance ourselves back from God all over again, which is what we do not want. So we have to always remain humble. We have to stay within that humble stature. Always understand and bow to the Lord. Bow to Jesus Christ and let him guide your life. Let him help you get out of whatever sinful natures you need to get out of, and get you away from the flesh, because you have to understand this is a daily battle we're fighting. You're not going to stop fighting the flesh for as long as God blesses you with the breath of life. So we have to understand that all the struggles that you got to deal with, and then there's going to be different ones, right? Because the devil's trying to get us, because at the end of the day, he knows he's going to burn. He wants us to go with him. He wants to get as many of God's children as you accept Jesus Christ and you're living within the righteousness of God and you're understanding you have the Holy Spirit. He wants to get as many of us away from God as possible. That's his get back, because he knows he's done. So you have to understand the format of what's going on with this war, and you have to stay on your side. You have to pick Jesus Christ. You have to stay within those standards. You have to stay within that humility so that he can help you in the first place. The Holy Spirit can do all that you need it to do, but you have to be willing to accept the help. And a lot of times we don't realize just in our subconscious how we're fighting this. And this is a battle that we're going to be fighting every single day that we wake up, because you have to understand you're fighting that ego, that pride. You're fighting certain standards and old past ways of you feeling like you had to do everything alone. And you have to remember that God's the reason why you would even able to get out of them situations in the first place. And that helps you to recenter yourself, recalibrate. We have to recalibrate because we've been processed to lead towards sin from school all the way up. We have to get out of that. We have to realize now that, okay, I have to restructure. That's why it's so important for us to read that Bible every day. So important for you to be fasting so you can get a stronger connection with Jesus Christ through the Spirit, and listen to the guidance that's given to you so you can understand where you're messing up at. And you have to be humble enough to accept that and accept accept his help so that you can get out of that. Because a lot of times, well, the only problem is we're trying to do it by ourselves. But when you're trying to do it by yourself, it's leading you towards flesh, and flesh leads towards death. So understand that carnal mind leads towards sin and death. So we have to get out of that. Stay within the spiritual mind and stay focused on that Holy Spirit and surrender yourself to Jesus Christ. So this means that we have to accept the fact that I can't do it by myself, Lord. I know you have all the power and you are the Almighty, the one and only, the true, most high, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I'm going to leave it up to you because I know that you got this. I'm going to surrender because we have to surrender. That's all it is. It's our pride. We're feeling this. No, wait, I can do this. Wait, I can wait. And that's how we get back to sin, back to sin, back to sin, back to sin. We're going a little closer to Jesus Christ, but then you go back to sin because we keep trying to fight it. You keep trying to fight it. All right, wait, I can do this. I can do this. No, I can't do this. I'm a born sinner. I have a flesh. My creativity leads towards darkness because I read Genesis. So I understand that I can't do this alone. But with Jesus Christ, and what Jesus Christ already understood is by us accepting his death on the cross, believing in him, thanking him, being indebted to him, and allowing that Holy Spirit to take part in us, then we can go about doing those righteous works, right? So I hope that this video in some format or some way helped y'all. Kind of going over what we know in terms of the flesh, but this is just a battle. I'm reminding y'all, this is a daily battle. I'm right there with y'all. We fight this battle daily. I'm going to be fighting all day. Y'all is too. But we have to understand that who we have on our side, that armor of God, that shield of faith can't be penetrated, but you have to have faith in God, not yourself. We can't do it. But when you have faith in God, that's when that shield of faith can't be cracked. If you relying on yourself, that shield going quick. But if you relying on God and you're understanding, and you understand the Holy Spirit's on your side and is leading you, trust me, ain't nothing getting through. So I hope that this message helped you in some format or some way. Even if it did not, I still love and appreciate you for tuning in. God bless all of you. More on the way soon. Remember, we are in a spiritual warfare, but you have Jesus Christ on your side, so you already won. Believe in him, accept him, surrender to him, and all things will be good. Be blessed. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.